You know, that pint in your hand, it's more than just a drink. It's the end product of a massive, incredibly complex global industry. And right now, in 2025, that industry is really at a crossroads. It's facing this perfect storm of economic pressure, our tastes are shifting, the climate's changing, so brewers are being forced to adapt, to innovate, and really to redefine the very business of beer. So what does the future of the global pint actually look like? Well, let's dive in and find out.
All right, here's our roadmap. We'll kick things off with the global state of beer. Then we'll get into the battle between the industry titans and the more nimble specialists. After that, we're going to uncover what I'm calling the new price of flavor, how costs and climate are changing everything. Then we'll hit the surprising zero alcohol revolution, before we wrap it all up with our final verdict on just how resilient this industry is.
So let's start with the big picture. And to put it simply, 2025 was a tough year for brewers. You had macroeconomic pressures, right? From inflation hitting everybody's wallets to geopolitical uncertainty messing with supply chains. It all created some serious headwinds for the entire industry.
This quote from Heineken's annual report just captures the mood perfectly. A year that truly tested the beer category, that's the challenge. But, and this is the important part, we delivered a balanced performance. That's the response. So this isn't really a story of decline. It's a story of resilience, in the face of some pretty major adversity.
And to really get a sense of the scale we're talking about, just look at AB InBev, the world's largest brewer. This chart shows their absolutely colossal global footprint. The Americas alone, that's over half their total volume. But hiding behind these huge numbers is a critical trend. Overall, their total volumes were actually down, just slightly, compared to the year before.
And look, this wasn't just an AB InBev problem. Not at all. The Boston Beer Company's report notes that the entire U.S. beer market dropped by about 4% in volume. Meanwhile, AB InBev saw those low single-digit declines in key markets like Europe and China. So the takeaway here is pretty clear. In some really important markets, people are just buying less traditional beer. The big questions are, of course, why, and what are the brewers going to do about it?
And that brings us right to our next section, because with overall volumes under pressure, the whole fight for growth has shifted. It's now a battle for a different kind of customer, and frankly, a different kind of beer.
Okay, so the key strategy here is a word you see in every single one of these reports: premiumization. And the logic is pretty simple. If you can't sell more beer, you gotta sell better beer, or at least more expensive beer. It's a fundamental shift from just chasing volume to chasing value.
This quote from Molson Coors really shows the strategy in action. The company's basically saying that the real growth isn't in your standard lager anymore. Nope, it's in what they call above-premium categories. So think imports, craft-style beers, and those flavored beverages. They're just following the money, and right now the money is in premium.
But here's the thing. It's not just the titans who can play this game. On the left, yeah, you've got Heineken leveraging its massive global scale. But on the right, you have San Miguel Brewery Hong Kong, a regional specialist. Now get this, while the Hong Kong market actually shrank by 3%, they grew their total volume by an incredible 11%. How'd they do it? By focusing intensely on their brands, like San Meg Light, and pushing exports hard. It just goes to show you that a sharp brand focus can beat market trends no matter how big or small you are.
Now, this strategic shift toward premium products, it isn't just about chasing what's trendy. It's also a direct response to some intense pressure on the supply chain itself. So let's take a look at the new costs of brewing. Inflation is not some abstract concept for these companies. This number makes it painfully real. The Boston Beer Company saw its raw material costs, and that's everything from barley and hops to the aluminum for cans, jump by over $30 million in a single year. That is a massive hit to the bottom line that just has to be managed.
So that brings us to the obvious question, right? When the price of literally everything you need to make your product is going up, and when climate change is threatening the stability of your key ingredients, how do you stay profitable?
Well, one of the key answers is efficiency, which these days falls under the big umbrella of sustainability. And this isn't just about PR. As you can see at this Carlsberg facility in Malaysia, cutting water usage by 3.4% isn't just good for the planet, it's good for business. It directly reduces operational costs. It's simple. Saving water saves money.
And we're not talking about small initiatives here. These are deep, structural commitments. Just look at Molson Coors' goals for 2030. They're targeting massive cuts in greenhouse gas emissions from their own breweries all the way through their supply chain. They're reinventing their packaging, and they're drastically improving water efficiency. This is a top-to-bottom re-engineering of the business to be more resilient, both financially and environmentally.
And as these cool illustrations from Carlsberg show, This kind of thinking extends way beyond the brewery walls. It's about the entire value chain, from regenerative agricultural practices on the farms growing the barley to the logistics of transport, all the way to the brewing and packaging. Every single step is an opportunity to build in more efficiency and control costs.
So beyond costs and premiumization, there is one more revolution that's reshaping the industry, and it's happening inside the can itself. It's a fundamental change in what we, the consumers, are asking for.
That's right, the fastest growing segment in the entire beer category is beverages with zero alcohol. Now, that might sound like a paradox, but believe me, it is the single biggest opportunity that brewers are chasing in 2025.
The Boston Beer Company report lays out the drivers for this perfectly. It's all fueled by this sober-curious movement, especially among younger consumers. It's tied to bigger wellness trends, a general desire for moderation, and really, just people rethinking their relationship with alcohol. The demand for sophisticated, adult, non-alcoholic options has just exploded.
And of course, the Titans have taken notice. This is now a core part of their official strategy. I mean, look here. Carlsberg's plan explicitly says to accelerate alcohol-free brews, right alongside premium beer. And AB InBev is putting major marketing muscle behind brands like Corona Cero. They are absolutely not treating this as a niche product anymore. It's a primary engine for growth.
So after a year that truly tested them, what's the final verdict? We've seen an industry that's facing headwinds from pretty much all sides, but one that is responding with some clear, decisive strategies.
This table pretty much synthesizes our entire analysis. For every major challenge, there's a clear strategic response. Declining volumes are being met with premiumization. Rising costs are being countered by a huge push for sustainability and efficiency. And those shifting consumer tastes? They're being answered with aggressive innovation in the non-alcoholic space.
So the crucial takeaway is this. The global brewing industry, while it's certainly under pressure, has proven itself to be remarkably resilient. By leveraging its scale, investing in powerful brands, and just relentlessly pursuing efficiency, it's navigating the volatility of 2025 and setting itself up for the future.
And that leaves us with one final question to think about. As drinkers demand more variety, more niche products, more specialized options, does the future belong to the global titans who can brew at a massive scale, or to the nimble specialists who can really capture the heart of a local market? That's the tension that's going to define the next chapter for the global pint. Thanks for joining me.